Yo, it's Nas Lee in the building, bro. And we're just gonna go ahead and talk about the NFC South because the NFC South it's a division. I'll say that much. And this is the one this is one of the two divisions that they'll just beat each other, bro, and they'll just screw each other out of the division spot, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead and get the Saints out of the way and be like, Spencer Rattler, he is last year he wasn't that good for real like that, and I don't know who would start for them. I don't know if it'd be him or Tyler Shug, who was a second round pick, but I just know both of them QBs are not that good to me to where I think they're probably gonna end up being no more pick. I predict they're gonna be no more pick for sure, because I don't think them two moves the needle for me to where they can win more than 4 games this year. And then more on Tyler Shook for a minute. I just think he's more of a Will Levis type of QB where he'll make some plays, but then next thing you know he'll make a crazy play where just what are you doing type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But one thing I could say for sure though is they should at least have a top half of the league of offensive line. That's what I think. And that's just what they drafted Kelvin Banks Jr. for, man, because he's playing left tackle. I thought he was the best left tackle in the draft. I did think that early on for sure. I think people say he could be a guard, even though I'm until he can't play tackle, he's a tackle in my opinion. I think him and Fuaga are going to be a young, good tackle tandem. And honestly, the Saints did right by choosing them, because I'd rather be solidified on the offensive line than draft a QB who's not going in a bad situation with a bad offensive line for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with them getting Kelvin Banks. And honestly, when I watched him in the preseason, Kelvin Banks looks really good. He's gonna be a guy to watch. I mean, obviously he's gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but if you could award to the offensive lineman, he would be up there for sure. Offensive Rookie of the Year. So they don't have an offensive line. Hopefully Chris Olave doesn't get another concussion. I don't think their defense is gonna be that good either, but I think they're gonna hit on their first round pick, Kelvin Banks, and him and Fuaga will be good. But look on to this year though, man. All I gotta say about that is Arch Manning, you're a New Orleans Saint next year, bro. Alright, so on to the Carolina Panthers, and I'm gonna start with the defense because the Carolina Panthers defense is the worst. And big part of that because Derrick Brown, he was out for basically the whole year, and it showed because when Derrick Brown was on the field, bro, they couldn't rush the passer for nothing at all. I remember they called a whole bunch of blitzes because they had to, and they still couldn't get the quick QB down, bro. They had at least bottom 5 in sacks last year, because that's how bad the defense was. The run defense was even worse. It was that bad, bro. No cap, it was that bad. And to me, that proves how valuable Derrick Brown really is to this team, especially that D line. And he deserves any type of raise. I'm glad he got paid as it is, so he deserves another raise for how he made that defensive line look more competent than it really is. That's how impactful he really was to their defense for sure. And that's no disrespect to a guy like J.C. Horn who made the Pro Bowl last year, but Derrick Brown was the most important player on this team, on this defense for sure. All right, so on to the offense, and Dave Canales and Bryce Young tandem, bro, coach and QB tandem, is gonna be one of the best in my opinion, because Bryce Young, bro, he looked like Alabama Bryce Young, bro. He really did, and I am so happy he did, bro. Now, how good the offense will be, I don't know, but they definitely have the bases now where the offensive line is really good. It showed last year because Chuba Hubbard had himself a career year last year, and Bryce Young, I'm more convinced that this team can actually win the division, because the fact that they went against the 2 teams that made the Super Bowl and they took them to the brink last year, they actually almost won those games. I'm more convinced now this team is gonna be a team to actually watch out for. They're gonna be a sleeper team for sure. Yeah, so Dave Canales and Dan Morgan, the GM, they did a great job, especially Dave Canales, because this team was basically on just a team was just unwatchable, and Dave Canales made him watchable again. Dave Canales is one of those sleeper coaches for sure. And then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about Bryce Young before I move on to the first round pick. But Bryce Young, I think he could play. He could have a Pro Bowl type of season, bro. Like this team is gonna win the division, in my opinion. Just the defense is gonna get better. It's better, honestly, in my opinion. But like Bryce Young, if he plays like a Pro Bowl caliber season, bro, like this team might actually win the division even over the Bucks, because this division not that easy of a division this year as people think it's gonna be. So, but that's because he has a guy where like they were just a match made in heaven, in my opinion. And that's first round wide receiver Tyrone McMillan. I thought he was the best wide receiver coming out in the draft. I still think he is, even over Travis Hunter. But like, he is really good at what he does. Like, I mean, people give him the Mike Evans comp. I'm like, dude is, in my opinion, a little more versatile than Mike Evans is. And Mike Evans is a Hall of Fame caliber type of player. Like, Tyrone McMillan, bro, like, if you need him to play the slot, he could play the slot, bro. He's a guy where, like, he has a good feel for, like, knowing where zone coverages are at. And, like, really good route runner. Good catching the ball. And, like, just a tall, big radius type of receiver, bro. Like, him and Bryce Young are just a match made in heaven, bro. I'm very excited for this duo to actually see what they can do. The Atlanta Falcons, man. The Atlanta Falcons. Alright, so obviously they blew it last year, losing the division out after they had the division lead, especially more over the Buccaneers, where they actually had the tiebreak over them. They still lost the division, but you know, it's all good. They got Michael Penix Jr. now, and Michael Penix Jr. for the 3 games he played looked really, really good. Like, obviously accuracy issues like was a problem for him somewhat too, but like those big time throws he made though, like they were like really big time. Where like that's like the best I've seen since, like, you know, Matt Ryan was older Matt Ryan for real. So I'm very excited to see it, even though I'm a little bit worried because like he ain't played much of the preseason. So, but you know, they just, I guess they were just like, you know, making sure he was just ready. I guess, I don't know. Obviously, I think with him, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and I pray to God Kyle Pitts even does something this year. But like, it should be good, even though like they did lose some offensive linemen this year, so it should be, the offensive line might be a little bit worse. But like, the Atlanta Falcons offensive line is underrated as hell, really. They really are. Alright, so the Atlanta Falcons defense, it's going to be relying on a lot of young guys to actually step up. That's including both of their first round picks of James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. Now, Jalen Walker, to me, he has the highest ceiling out of both of them because he's multi-talented, versatile. I think he's better of an edge than like an off-ball linebacker, but like he's undersized, so like, you know, it's gonna take a little bit of time to actually, you know, like what you need to do, especially him like actually learn the position to actually be a good edge rusher. Now James Pierce Jr. is more of like more ready now because him coming out, he could have been like, you know, a top 15 pick, but like character issues. So, but I do like James Pierce Jr. a lot too. He was a really good pass rusher for Tennessee, and honestly, like, them two gonna have to really contribute this year, man, because it really depends on most of the young guys that actually do that thing. Like, for example, their second round pick, Xavier Watts, like, he might already become a starter because, you know, he has to play a big role, man, because I thought he was one of the best safeties coming out. They had injury concerns when he came out, but like, he's one of the best safeties out there, and him and Jesse Bates had that safety duo really might put that team over the top. You know, I really thought Xavier Watts was really good when he was with Notre Dame, and he probably gonna play more of a strong safety, but like him and Jesse Bates, bro, like that's gonna be a really good tandem, bro. So like, exactly what I'm saying, like he gotta be one of the people to step up for real. I do expect him to have a good amount of playing time coming out, and Raheem Morris, like, I do hope he does something with his defense, because the defense gonna be really young, but it really just predicates on how tough they are for them to even win the division this year. Alright, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I ain't gonna lie, bro, like, y'all proved that like y'all could just stay winning the division and stuff like that, but like, it's really the time now where like y'all should be more considered like Super Bowl contenders than like just, oh, they're ceiling just making the division around. So, but like, one thing that's gonna hold them back is the coach, Todd Bowles, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not the biggest Todd Bowles guy as a head coach, but like, hey, if you win divisions for like that many years in a row, man, like, ain't nothing you can really say about that. But like, they're gonna be on that third coordinator now in a row, and we'll see what happens. But like, I know for a fact that like Baker Mayfield should be really good. I really do think so. So Baker Mayfield is like a story that like no one really talks about how like enough, but how like he revitalized his career, made the Buccaneers more of a Super Bowl contender now this year. To where I'm like, there's people that will say like they're a sleeper team to make the Super Bowl, which I wouldn't blame him for saying that. He's definitely like he's for sure a top 10 QB in the league in my opinion. He proved that in my opinion he's a top 10 QB. I doubt the guy. So like I said last year, bro, like I'm sorry for doubting you, bro. I really am. Like I'm sorry for doubting you, Baker Mayfield. But you proved to me that like you're a top 10 guy, bro. You really proved that to me a lot. And I do hope that like, he could lead his team to like at least a conference championship game this year. I really do hope so. I think he has that talent to do that, to lead his team to that type of thing. Oh yeah, I meant to mention the Tampa Bay's defense, and I think defense is still gonna be pretty good. Just I'm a little worried about the pass rush because the pass rush was surprisingly not that good last year. I know Yaya Diop, I can't say his name, but I know Yaya was really good for him last year for sure. But like, and Vita Vea is obviously one of the best no tackles in the league too. But they need more pass rush really, and they're a heavy blitz team. But like, they can just rush for 4 though, they'll be straight. I really do think so. So if you didn't know already, I'm choosing the Bucks to win the division, but like I think it's gonna be a closer race than people realize for sure, especially by the end of it, because I don't think they're gonna run away with the division, especially with how like Atlanta and the Carolina Panthers are. Like I think the Buccaneers will win the division, but it's gonna be a closer race than people think. It's gonna come down to week 18 for sure. With the Saints, they're clearly gonna be in the last place. Like I said, they're going to get the number 1 pick this year. I really think so. Their QB situation isn't that bad, bro. So I think that for sure. So I went back and forth with this, but I'm choosing the Carolina Panthers to actually finish second in the division. I think I'm more confident with Bryce Young at QB than Michael Penix. Not saying Michael Penix won't be good, but I saw last year with the Panthers, like I'm like genuinely like more excited to see how they're gonna turn out for sure. And plus I have more questions with the Atlanta Falcons. That's just how I see it with them two teams. Like also like the Panthers defense should be only going up, and then with the Falcons defense, like they're relying more on young guys, so they might like not be as good as they should be coming out. So but at Panthers finished second and Falcons finished third. But yeah, man, let me know who y'all got winning the division this year, and that's all I'm gonna do for me. Hey, enjoy the video, man. Appreciate watching, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace out. Appreciate y'all guys, bro, for sure.